Dr. Williams, we want to thank you so much for coming on the My K12 Career Show to share your story with our viewers and our listeners. Could you briefly tell us what's going on in your life and in your K-12 career right now?
Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited about the fact that I just finished 25 years in education.
That's unbelievable. You don't look a day over 25. I don't believe that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Williams. By the way, love your name.
Awesome.
But it has been a wonderful journey. I've had the opportunity to be a teacher, an instructional coach, an instructional coordinator, an assistant principal, and a dean. Wow. And currently, I am the CEO and founder of my own professional development company, Fine-Tune. So I'm just really excited about being able to take everything that I've learned in those different roles and be able to invest it in a company that really comes alongside schools and districts in order to provide customized and culturally relevant professional development that will ultimately increase student achievement. Wow. And so I'm just excited about all the opportunities that I've had to serve students directly and indirectly. We really are in the best profession in the world. Absolutely. I like the fact that you have on your LinkedIn page that without us, no other profession would be made possible. Absolutely. And I truly do believe that. We are behind so many great faces, places, people, visions, goals, teachers, educators are behind all of that.
Wow. You've done a lot in your 25 years, and that's amazing. And I'm sure it doesn't seem like it's been 25 years, right?
At times. At times. I must say, I do look forward to retiring and at least transitioning from working in the public school arena, because I am the CEO of my company, but I'm also working full time as a coordinator in Atlanta Public Schools. And so I do look forward to just being in business for myself full time. Because right now I feel like I'm working 2 full-time jobs. And so that can be a bit challenging.
Yeah, but it's nothing like owning your own business. And I definitely want us to take a deeper dive into that. Like, how long has your company been in existence?
It's 2014.
So that's 6 years, right? And so what made you start your own company? That's amazing.
That's a very good question. I've always enjoyed, well, I can't say always. So, of course, I started off as a teacher. Sure. And then I was introduced to this role, instructional coach. Okay. And so in that role, I realized that there's such a need for us to support teachers. Yeah. And then after being an instructional coach, I was promoted to instructional coordinator. And so in that position, I had the opportunity, and it was a part of my job, to contract different individuals to provide professional development to the district in the area of mathematics. And so I'm going to be honest, Dr. Williams, what I found was that although the consultants would come and they would talk about engaging students and how to meet the needs of students, they weren't modeling the strategies. They weren't embracing those concepts and those skills that they were saying teachers should use in the classroom. They weren't using them themselves as they were training us. And so I really saw that I had a niche for just providing engaging, quality professional development that individuals seem to really connect with. Okay. And so my motto is, well, if that person is doing it, I can do it too. And so with that, around that same time, this wonderful company that's owned by a mother and daughter, Ed and Matt, such 2 beautiful sisters. They have an educational warehouse. And then when different districts purchase their products, they contract different individuals to do professional development. Okay. And so during this time, they contracted me, and I had the opportunity to go to Columbus. Oh, yeah, I was big time. Here I was traveling an hour and a half away to go train some instructional coaches. I thought I was doing the thing.
That's awesome.
But they allowed me to work with those instructional coaches. Then when I got that check, I said, okay, this is something that I can really do. I can monetize my gift in this way.
Yes.
And so it ended up, I started making plans to start the company. And then we got a really big break with DeKalb County school system, got a huge contract. And that's what just really put everything into motion.
Wow, that's amazing.
Haven't looked back since.
That is really, really good. So how many school systems is your company currently working with right now?
That's a good question because we mainly do our work in DeKalb County. So we have several schools within that one county.
Oh, okay.
Also, I branched out into Henry County, and we have someone in Brunswick, Georgia, who is looking to employ our services. So we're really excited about that.
Right.
And trying to think what other. And right now, that's what we're working with. But we know that as administrators come back from vacation and start to settle down, then we'll have more contracts once they put those school improvement plans together. And then we know that we'll get those phone calls that will include us in our services.
Yeah, that's really, really amazing. So like when you're talking about a business like yours, where you're providing not only instruction as it relates to math for teachers, how do you make it so that you can like duplicate you, right? And make sure that you can be in other different places? Do you subcontract with other teachers so that they can deliver this work? How does that work?
Yeah, that's exactly what I have to do, Dr. Williams. Because I do work a full-time job, I have my day job, then what I do is I write all of the training, and then I provide support so that consultants can go out and be the ones who actually deliver it.
Okay.
And so that has really worked for us because I'm able to put my personality, my skills, my thoughts into the training, and it's very detailed. And I just know some fabulous mathematics educators who were able to pick that up, carry my spirit right with them into the classrooms. And so it's just been a really good relationship. And not only do we offer mathematics professional development, but we also offer social and emotional learning, support, as well as best practices in all content areas. And so we really have a good thing going on in Fine Tune. And I call it Fine Tune because we know we're not teaching anyone anything new under the sun. What we're helping teachers doing is to tweak, adjust, fine-tune their practices in a more strategic manner to better meet the needs of their students. And so we just have a blast doing that. It really is a blessing to be able to support schools and districts in that way.
Awesome. So looking at your timeline, so you started this in 2016, Fine Tune, right?
2014.
I'm sorry, 2014. And so that means your company is 8 years old. Right. But we all know that the pandemic hit in 2020. How did you pivot? How did you fine tune as it relates to the pandemic and how it, negatively impacted a lot of schools and school communities across the U.S. and the world, quite frankly?
That actually is a great question. And I always said that, while some people were trying to survive in the pandemic, we were thriving in the pandemic because before the pandemic started, I was a company of one.
Okay.
But then during the pandemic, then I added my team members, which are mainly my family members. And then my executive assistant was a college student at Georgia Tech. We took the opportunity to maximize Zoom and to really provide some services in order to bring individuals to us. So we weren't able to go into schools, but we started offering what we call treasure chats, which were our version of TED Talks. Because at Fine Tune, we do have a department called Treasure Hunt, and we really are focused on helping educators unlock the potential that we know is in all of our school-age Black males.
Wow.
And so with Treasure Hunt, we are pulling out the treasure that we know is within those students by helping them to boost their academic, social, and emotional levels. So we had dynamic Black men to do treasure chats via Zoom on Saturdays, and would just give us all sorts of wonderful strategies in order to better support our school-age Black males. We also had 2 virtual treasure hunt conferences. Now, all of this was not happening before the pandemic.
Sure.
We just took the opportunity, as you said, to pivot. We said, hey, this is what it is for right now. How can we use it to our advantage?
Yeah.
And so we also were able to start providing professional development via Zoom. Okay. Because a lot of districts, they were not allowing schools to go, individuals, to be in the schools. And so we definitely had to make sure that we were well versed with Zoom. We got with those breakout sessions to make sure that we can still have that level of engagement that we love. We started using Nearpod, which is absolutely phenomenal because we are key on engagement. We model the strategies and we have our participants take on the role of students so they can engage in the strategies. So it's very important for us to make sure that we maximize the technology in order that the participation and the level of engagement would not be compromised. And it really has worked out to our good. We still are using Nearpod today with our face-to-face sessions.
Wow, that's amazing. You're on to something, Dr. Williams. I can tell that for sure. I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Chinese symbol for crisis is danger on one side, but opportunity on the other side. So, yes, this pandemic was a crisis, but, and definitely there was some danger. There were people that actually lost their lives and got really ill with this pandemic. But at the same time, you took it as an opportunity to provide a different sort of service to, schools and school districts in the Atlanta area. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is really, really cool. I'm very interested in this. And I like the fact that you talked a little bit about the treasure chats and the focus on African-American males. As an African-American male myself, I feel like that's a real need. And particularly in my school system that I currently work at here in Washington State, we have a focus on African-American males. So I definitely would like to, talk to you more about that and see how that can even be brought to maybe even Washington State. So we'll talk about that offline. But thank you for doing that. Thank you so much. So again, I still want to continue along this path because this is really amazing because, normally when I bring people on here, they're working in a specific area. They might be an administrator. I just interviewed a counselor earlier today. I've interviewed superintendents. So I've interviewed people that work in a variety of different roles in K-12 education. And that's the beauty of K-12 education. There's so many ways that you can contribute to and impact the lives of young people, because ultimately that's the lens that we all want to look through. But I like what I'm hearing from you, because I think the one thing we are realizing with the pandemic is that it's very, very difficult to meet all of the needs, whether we're talking about SEL needs or whether we're talking about academic needs, especially for our students that might be behind, to meet all those needs in a school day. So when I hear about what you're doing in terms of helping teachers to level up and, even having things that don't occur during the normal school day and occur on the weekends, that's really, really amazing. So having said all that, we're in 2022. Where do you see your company 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 2027, 2032?
That's a great question. We plan to be a household name when it comes to professional development. That's it. So you heard it here first. Well, now, not everybody. Some people are hearing it for the first time. Sure. Maybe over there on the West Coast. But do know that we are going places. We want to partner with districts across the nation and even across the world, because my doctoral studies is focused on just understanding more so what is going on with our African-American males. We know they're intelligent. We know there are no issues as far as skill. There are just a lot of factors that come into play when we look at their levels of achievement. Sure. And so we really want to change the narrative. Right. We want to make sure that we provide the support. We want to provide a listening ear, first of all, to better understand how we can support our students. Sure. And I know that I'm a typical adult. Sometimes I feel like I know better, but you know what?
Yeah.
Who knows better than the source? And one thing I'm excited about is that we are conducting a survey so that we're surveying school-age Black males. And we're going to disaggregate that data, we're going to analyze it, and we're going to come with some strategies that are straight from the source, not from the books, somebody else's research, but action research, where we're talking to the young men and we're asking them, how do you learn best? What makes you feel valued at school? And we're going to put that together, and we're going to provide those sessions because we really are dedicated to just helping our young men be all that God has called them to be. That's extremely important to us. And that is what I call my life's work. So in 5 years, I definitely see Treasure Hunt being a national movement. Okay. We're having our first face-to-face conference next year in June of 2023. We're just waiting on the approval of the facility, and then you're going to see all of our advertisement. Dr. Williams, you already know we need you to come and present and to be a part of that.
No problem. Sign me up.
It's going to be phenomenal. Yes. Because one thing about Treasure Hunt, all of our speakers are dynamic Black men who have overcome personal and societal challenges in order to walk into the level of success that they are experiencing now. So brothers like you, come, share your stories, share your insight, your strategies, your experience. And it's just phenomenal because when you, in a Treasure Hunt experience, we're focusing on young Black men and we're hearing it from, seasoned Black men. So it's a powerful experience. Yeah. I think that for so long, you all have just been viewed a certain way that it's just could not be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
And so at Fine Tune, we are focused on, we love the Black men. And so we are amplifying the voices of Black men in order to support our young Black men. And so we're really on the move. And so you said in 5 years, and then in 10 years, well, we're just going to continue to flow and to grow with our Treasure Hunt as well as Fine Tune. I should have published my book by then. And so I hope to be doing my tour, stopping by Seattle.
For sure.
And signing books in the original Starbucks.
There you go. Yeah.
And just really talking to educators, collaborating with educators, and even helping other educators get their businesses off the ground.
Well, I like that.
There's a verse in Proverbs that talks about a wise man. I can't quote it verbatim, but it talks about a wise man being able to pull out treasure in a well. And so I want to always be able to help others. My purpose is to help others fulfill theirs. I want to look at those individuals, help them pull out, it might be deep within them, help them pull out all that God has placed within them. Because when we are all walking in our purpose and our destiny, that's when this world will move. That's when the miraculous becomes absolutely possible and it becomes the norm. Because we're doing what God has called us to do. And so when we talk about fine tune, I'm constantly trying to fine tune myself. I'm trying to develop myself. I'm trying to help fine tune others. I just want to make sure that I provide the support in the way I know that I've been called to do. So I'm just really excited about that, Dr. Williams. I really, really am. Yeah. I need this school system to release me. So when I transition from the day job and do fine tune full time, the sky is not even the limit.
100%. No, I totally agree with you. And yeah, I'm like you. I believe that this is a calling for me, truthfully. And so, this is not my work. This is God's work. I didn't choose K12 education. K12 education chose me. And so I'm very, very excited about being a part of any opportunity to share my story, particularly with young Black men, because the one thing I don't want any young Black man that looks like me to ever do is to lose hope, right? Because if they lose hope, I don't care if they have the capacity, I don't care if they have the ability. Without hope, there's no future. right? And so for me, it's really important to make sure that they know that the future is going to be what they make it, and that they have to keep, as to quote Jesse Jackson, they got to keep hope alive, right? And so
that is it.
Super important. You know, Dr. Williams, sometimes our K-12 profession gets a bad rap, and an unfair rap, if you ask me. Why do you feel like the K-12 profession is a noble profession?
Well, really, part of the reason is because of what you just said. We do get a bad rap, but we still get up and we go to work every day and try to do the best we can, ultimately for the students.
Sure.
I don't know what other professions have its workers to go out, order their own supplies, buy their own products, forfeit their time with their biological children to invest in everybody else's children. But that's what our teachers do, and they do it. I mean, of course, everybody has their bad days, but when you look at it, people generally go into the profession because they want to make a difference for our young people. And so our products are not mechanics, they're not, these tangible, non-breathing elements. We deal with human beings. Yeah. And so just the love, the care, the challenges, everything that we face and everything that we give in order to help the next generation, you just don't see that a lot. And during the pandemic, unfortunately, that's what it took for a lot of people to realize just the value of our teachers.
Right.
People couldn't deal with helping their one child or their two children do their schoolwork. Yeah. And so they understood that when you have a class of 20, 25, 30, and some people had classes of 40, they came to understand that it's not easy. We're not just babysitting.
That's true.
We're not just working 10 months so we can have 2 months off. I think I saw a meme the other day. I hope I don't get this wrong, but it said something to the effect that those 2 months in the summer, that's not vacation, that's overtime. That's payment for overtime. The overtime that has been given throughout the year, that's the payment. Wow. And so you really do have educators that stay late, get up early. A lot of times, teachers are off in the summer, but where are many of them? They're right at school, or they're going to conferences. They're using their personal time in order to fine-tune themselves.
Yes.
And they do it because they love the children.
Absolutely.
It really is an honorable profession. If you talk to your presidents, your athletes, your senators, your engineers, your astronauts, and you ask them who influenced you, more often than not, they may have a list, but somewhere on that list is going to be an educator. It's going to be a teacher. It's going to be a principal, a counselor. And so we just really need to respect the profession. And I just believe that without us, who knows where this nation would be.
No, I totally agree with you.
And a lot of unsung heroes are educators.
100%. And that is very well said. Thank you so much for sharing that. You talked about your amazing organization, Fine Tune. You've been doing that for 8 years. You've been in K-12 education for 25 years. And now you're doing both at the same time. Like, how do you maintain work-life balance? Or is that
I don't. I absolutely do not, but I'm working towards a goal. I am very serious I'm not going to do my 30 years.
Sure.
So I am working to do my business full time, which means that I have to grind in order to set myself up so that once I leave the day job, I can walk into a situation in which my quality of life won't change. So I'm going to travel.
Sure.
Be able to get my nails done, be able to hit Amazon like I want to. So
sure.
I don't want my lifestyle to change. And so right now I'm grinding without a doubt. Now I do have my fun time. Like I'm going to Qatar on Wednesday.
Okay.
So this will be my first time in Asia.
Okay.
And I'm just really looking forward to that because traveling is definitely my thing. Internationally, I like to travel around the U.S. as well, but I do get my trips in, and I mean, I say I don't have work-life balance, and I do work a lot, but I do have my opportunities to enjoy my family, my friends. My sisters are my best friends, and my sisters are also a part of my A team for Fine Tune. And so we were just together this past weekend. My older sister and I did the HBCU 5K on Saturday. That was lots of fun. And then we went out to this nice little rooftop restaurant in downtown Atlanta and just really hung out, the three of us. And so, and you have to be intentional. With this life, you have to be intentional about, you said earlier, self-care. Because you're probably like me. I'm goal-oriented, so I enjoy the work. And I like checking things off of my list. I like getting things done. So I do sometimes have to tell myself, okay, sis, relax. Sure. It's not that serious.
100%.
Put it off till tomorrow. And so I do try to be intentional just about having a good time, because I work hard, but I also like to play hard.
Work hard, play harder.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, I'm actually going out of the country myself next week. So,
where are you going?
I'm going to London, England, and I'm looking forward to it. I actually have been to Qatar, one of the nicest airports in the world, and they've done a lot of upgrades in Qatar with the World Cup and everything. So yeah, you're going to really, really be impressed with what you see in Qatar. So yeah. Have fun.
Nice. And I've been in London. I don't know if you've been there before.
No, it's going to be my first time. I actually have a good friend who will be on the show at some point. He is going to be a school leader at one of the most prestigious boarding schools in all of the UK, and he's a person of color. So I'm looking forward to interviewing him as well. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
now he's not in Cheltenham. Will he actually be in London or one of the surrounding areas?
I think he used the word, is it Stratford? Is there a Stratford? I know that he's in Oman. He was in Oman up until this summer. And like I said, he's transitioning into the position actually Friday, July 1st. So super excited about that. I had the opportunity to work overseas as a school leader. And so I've been, I was in 12 different countries at that time. So I definitely have a wanderlust as it relates to traveling as well. And obviously the pandemic really kind of pumped the brakes on that. But I am looking forward to going abroad again. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Enjoy that. My layover is in London.
Okay, there you go.
But yes, have a fabulous time though. Make sure you see the changing of the guards.
Oh yeah,
at Buckingham Palace.
That is so cool.
Yes.
I've heard about that. So Dr. Williams, if you had to do it all over again, would you still have become a K-12 educator?
Oh, absolutely. I say all the time, if I would not have been an educator, I definitely would have been a lawyer.
Okay.
But I would not change this journey for anything. And when you know, like you said earlier, that it's a calling,
sure.
When you know that it's more than you just choosing something, that this is what God placed you on earth to do, it just hits differently. And so the relationships I've formed, the opportunities I've had, the joy that I experienced with Fine Tune, that would not have happened had I not started teaching in 1997.
Wow.
So wouldn't have changed it. And I always say too, my family followed me. I was the only one who wanted to teach, and everybody in the family has either taught. Even my mom was a substitute teacher. My dad he started his profession as a military man.
Okay.
He retired from the Navy, went into education, became an administrator, retired as a principal. And so it's just a beautiful thing. We are definitely a family of educators.
Well, we have that in common. My youngest brother is a principal in St. Louis. One of my sisters is actually the president of the Houston Teachers Union, which is one of the largest unions in the country. And I also have another sister that's a teacher. So yeah, 4 out of 6 of us became educators. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And that's a beautiful thing. But also, I want to take this time to honor you, Dr. Rita Williams, because you have given 25 years of your life to impacting the school communities that you've worked with over these last 25 years. And then 8 years ago, you saw a need and you're meeting that need with Fine Tune. So I want to honor you for all the great work you're doing, impacting the lives of students all over Atlanta. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dr. Williams. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Dr. Williams, I want to thank you so much for coming on the My K12 Career Show. But before you leave, would you please give our viewers some parting words of wisdom? Tell us how we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Sure. So my parting words of wisdom is going to be very simple because I just thought about this little, I don't know, is it a quote maybe? No, it actually is a book title. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Sure.
And I'm actually creating a presentation for new teachers.
Okay.
And that's just a bit of inspiration that I'm going to end it with. But it applies to all educators because when, we're in a great profession, but we're in a challenging one. Yeah. There are always just new issues, new hills to climb, new valleys to cross. But we cannot get overwhelmed. Yes, we have this massive challenge, but we're going to tackle it one issue at a time, one child at a time, one day at a time.
Love it.
And so let's not burn out, colleagues. And I know by now you're saying, too late for that, sis. But just keep in mind, we're going to do it one element at a time. Let's not overwhelm ourselves. Let's make sure that we practice self-care because if we're not at our best, then our schools and our students are not going to achieve their best.
100%.
So I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to be here. You can find me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn at Rita D. Williams, Ph.D. You can find me on Facebook, Rita Williams. You can definitely find Fine Tune on the internet. Our website is www.tune.com.
I love it.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fine Tune without the hyphen, just at F1NETUNE. We would love to hear from you. If you're looking for quality professional development, we can travel anywhere. We can get to you anywhere in the world.
Awesome.
And so please feel free to reach out to us. And my email address is Rita, RITA, at finetune, F1NE-tune.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you. And just thank you so much and keep keeping on. Our children need you.
Thank you so much. You've been great. I am super excited about the value that you've actually shared with our viewers today. And I only ask one thing. You have to come back and visit us every couple of years or so, even sooner, just kind of giving us an update on how things are going with your company.
I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. All the best.